Entering the Mayo experience.
Mayo experience. Mayo experience. Mayo experience. Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience, presented by DraftKings. It is the Week 11 recap, Week 12 guessing of the spreads, plus cooking in the air fryer. We got popcorn shrimp on the menu, plus we're still sweating 2 games. Down the stretch, we're not really sweating one of the games. The Seahawks-Rams game, we are sweating a little bit, though. It looks like the Rams are going to try to milk the clock and try to kick a field goal to win this game. We'll see if they are able to do it. Joining us on the line, host of Mean Streets from FTN Fantasy.com, FTNBets.com. It's Chris Meaney, and dressed as if he wants to sell you life insurance, Tim Cust.
Not my name. Whatever.
Lies.
I know.
It's good to see you, boys.
You got some good rates?
The best rates.
The best.
Very good.
How do you feel about Tim Boyle?
I'm very excited that Tim Boyle's in the game. It means that Saleh is actually willing to play somebody else. I'd say there's at least a 50% chance he starts on Friday, and I'm not exaggerating when I say that.
Tim, do you... I wanted... Let's just talk about this right away. Robert Saleh. Do you believe, like, the comments that he said that he's had over the past couple weeks, do you believe they're from higher up people, or do you think he's actually, like, do you believe him when he talks? That's what I want to know.
I think he is partially to blame and is partially believing, but he's getting a lot of downward pressure saying, look, it's your team, you do what you want, but we'd really like to see as much tape on Wilson as possible, sort of thing. So ultimately, he's the coach. He decides who plays and who doesn't play. But I don't think it's completely his fault. But, it's time. We got today firm confirmation. Rodgers is playing December 24th.
I mean, that's not firm. That's
Whoa.
That's what
Did I miss that?
he said.
That's what they said on the broadcast today.
Yeah, on the broadcast, they said that's what he said.
The Commanders game, the 24th of December, he's intending to play in that game. So you can't have you can't have more than 7 losses when that game comes around because you have 3 games left. So that means they can lose one more game down the stretch and have an opportunity to make the playoffs.
So here's the thing.
Because Rodgers makes them an unbeatable team as soon as he's...
unbeatable, yeah, because they're so fucking great. And their vaunted defense just gave up 29 points to the Bills.
They didn't have a great day today, but they still have the best statistical defense in football going into this week.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It'll take a bit of a hit this week, there's no doubt, so maybe they'll be second or third. Are
you convinced Rodgers is any good?
Yes. I'm convinced of what I'm seeing is bad, and that if Rodgers provides C-plus quarterbacking, the Jets will win their last 3 games. Yes.
I have a theory, and I said this to Tim earlier, Meaney. We all know that Aaron Rodgers is an attention whore, and that's all he really wants. He's sort of like a whore for credit, much like Tim. I can see why he likes him so much. But you know how these dates have been shifting all of the time of when he's going to be back and when he's not going to be? Remember, it was going to be Black Friday a little bit earlier. That's what Tim was telling us because it looked like the Jets might lose every single game that they were playing. And now it was going to be the the last game in December. Now it's moved up a week. Now it's going to be the second to last game in December. It's funny that all of these kind of coincide with the Jets being mathematically eliminated from the playoffs. So when it actually gets to the date that he is supposedly coming back, according to him, well, the Jets are already out of the playoffs. It wouldn't make sense to go back out there at that point and risk himself for the following season, Meaney. So he gets all the credit of being a hero, of working it back. And you know what? He was able to come back from Achilles injury faster than anyone in history. But he's just not going to do it because it wouldn't be good for the team.
Yeah, I'm buying what you're selling.
No, I'm not.
100% buying what you're selling.
I'm not.
Yeah, he even backtracked a couple weeks ago, Tim. He said something where he was planning on December, he's planning December, and then the line at the end, if they're in contention. That was the big thing. If they're in contention, I'll be back. And I just don't think that they will be. And
they may or may not be. They have a tough game next week against the Dolphins. Then the schedule, they have the Colts and the Texans on that schedule. I think
the schedule actually got a lot harder than what you thought it was going to be. Well, yeah,
because both the Colts and Texans happen to be playing good football.
Oh, what about your much vaunted Atlanta Falcons in 2 weeks?
That's a tough game.
That's so tough.
That Falcons team is loaded with talent.
Like Ritter, who's going to be starting.
I like them next week a lot.
What do you make of the Bills
against the Saints
in this, Meaney? Like, the first few things I was like, Bills are back. It's like, let's pump the brakes here on the Bills being back. Yes, they look good against a very good defense, but they're also playing with the safety net of they know the other team can't score.
Yeah, exactly. And they did some good things today. Certainly Josh Allen did some good things today. He's taken a lot of heat over the past couple of weeks. I don't really believe in their defense. I think Allen's fine. He's good enough. I would like to see somebody else step up inside that offense after Diggs. We saw it with Shakir on that nice touchdown. But I just don't. They've lost so many pieces defensively. You know, Milano and Tre'Davious White, I just like two key losses in that secondary that I just don't think that they can keep up with some of the other teams that maybe they won't even make the playoffs, but some of the other teams that they would have to play in the playoffs. So I'm not ready to say that they figured it out offensively. The coaching change, you know, Joe Brady coming in, I didn't see anything really different in their game today. Maybe a little bit more James Cook in the first half of the game as opposed to Latavius Murray. But I think the defense is, I just don't think it's good enough with some of the losses.
They're going to have to, it's kind of like the point you made about Detroit. We can talk about Detroit and Chicago. Now, Detroit ends up with this huge comeback win. Goff just looks terrible in the first half, just throwing it to the other team. And you made the point about Detroit that they're in for a world of hurt once they start playing teams that can score.
Yes. Yeah, they are. And the Bills are too. Like the Bills have an unbelievably difficult schedule down the stretch.
Bills?
To the point where it's hard to imagine that them getting over 500 at this point, I think is like a 50-50 proposition.
The Bills' easiest game in the next 4 weeks is the Chargers.
There you have it, right? Like that's a gauntlet. The Bills are in tough, and as the defensive players continue to fall, I don't like their chances. Like I think the Eagles are going to get sort of work tomorrow night, but I think they'll come right back with and take care of Buffalo.
Yeah, Bills are at the Eagles, at the Chiefs, at home against the Cowboys, then at the Chargers the next 4 weeks. They're going to have to go 2-2 to have a chance here.
Yeah, boy, that's
even better. Maybe like honestly, with Miami's win today, and I know they got a couple against the Jets. It may come down to Week 18. I think Miami and Buffalo play each other, but I think that Buffalo kind of has to run the table. They've just put themselves in such a big hole here. So I would say that they got to win that game in Philly. They got to beat Dallas. They have to almost run the table, Pat. I'd say like 1 or 2 more losses max for the Bills to make the playoffs. Obviously, Joe Burrow going down. The Bengals are completely done. But some of these other teams keep, like Cleveland continues to find a way to win a football game despite zero offense. So, yeah, a tough go. As for Detroit, I don't know. I don't feel like they'll just be one and done. I definitely agree with what you said, Tim, when they play a good offense. But I think offensively at home too, like this is a team that basically scores 30 points a game. What they have today? 31. So they're averaging 28 at home. So a bit of an uptick. They're going to cruise past the schedule. The Packers, the Saints, they got the Broncos, the Bears, maybe some tough ones at the end with Meaney and Dallas. But I think that they're going to be the number 1 seed.
I do too.
And I think they're going to play. Who would they play? Seattle?
Well, they'll play. No, they'll have the bye, which means they won't have to play in the first round. So
that's true. Yeah,
they'll either get San Francisco, Philly, or Dallas. It's likely that'll be their first round opponent, their first playoff opponent. I don't like their chances against any of those 3 teams.
Yeah, I mean,
unless one of those 3 teams get upset in the first round, like that's who Detroit's getting. So like, good luck picking the Lions at home, probably laying a point or so into Dallas.
That's the most likely of the matchups, right? Dallas at Detroit.
I would think so. So, oh boy, good luck.
I mean, that's the best of the matchups they can draw because they might be just objectively better than Dallas is because Dallas only routes really bad teams and the only decent fight that they've put up so far this season against a good team, really. I mean, I guess they beat the Chargers, but the Chargers just lost to Green Bay, so how good could they against your Eagles? Meaning you got to witness Dallas firsthand. It just seemed like, I mean, Dallas had every opportunity to win the game and then went full Dallas and couldn't do anything.
That's the thing with Dallas. Like they probably should have won that game. I mean, Dak had a fantastic game, but they always find a way to lose the big games. And what has killed them all year has been their red zone offense. Before this week, I think they were 31st in goal to go touchdown percentage. They were 29th in red zone touchdown percentage. They just find ways to lose those big games. And I don't know how good they are because of what you said, Pat. They've just beat up on brutal football teams. Bland had another pick 6. He's got 5 of them on the season. That tied an NFL record. They're going to get tested because the schedule does turn for them, right? They're going to have Philly again.
Yeah.
They have Buffalo. They got a couple.
Miami.
They have wrap up against Detroit too, Miami. So we're going to get a good feel of how how Dallas does match up with some of these other teams, because I can't give them we already know, we've seen the movie 2 years in a row. They can't beat the Niners. And
could also
I don't
throw the
think that
game
they
away.
could go in and win in Philly.
They could throw the game away Thursday against the Commanders. That's not out of the realm of possibility.
I mean, we learned today that we spoke about it on both shows this week about the Commanders laying like 8 points, 9 points,
Not
whatever.
responsible betting.
Well, just
Not
they-
responsible.
They can't be favored that much over anyone because they're not good.
No, that's a problem.
Weren't they favored by that much against Washington or against the Giants earlier in the year too? And they lost. I'm
And
pretty
they
sure
lost.
they were touchdown favorites.
The Giants had 3
in
wins
that
this
game
year.
earlier.
2 of them are against the Commanders.
And it's funny because didn't the opposite happen last year?
They went
tied.
1-0-1 last year against Commanders. That's what got them into the playoffs.
That's right.
It kept Washington out. The other team, we can't really talk about them. They aren't going to play. But if Denver wins tonight, and I feel my bones are going to, they've beaten Buffalo. They have a tiebreak edge. They do not have a super difficult schedule. The Broncos get the Chargers twice. Like, the Broncos could absolutely be that last playoff team as Buffalo hits a very difficult stretch of their schedule. The Jets are fading. The Colts are paper tigers, and the Steelers are paper tigers. So, like, it just seems like there's a team that could fit themselves in, all things being equal.
Well, let's take a look at the AFC playoff picture right now. I don't want to give the AFC East to the Dolphins, but they're clearly front runners.
Yeah.
At the moment, and the rest of their schedule doesn't seem to be too impossible.
They have Dallas,
It's funny because it's in
Buffalo at home.
and they're at the Ravens as well.
Yeah,
So
I know.
maybe it is. So they get the Jets twice, Washington, and the Titans the next 4 weeks. Like they could be 4-0 the next 4
They'll
weeks.
be favored in all 4 games.
So that gets them in right there. If they just go 4-0, even
That
if they
that probably wins them the division, given Buffalo's schedule.
That's right. So even if they lose out, they're probably good. So let's just count the Dolphins in. We'll count the Ravens as in for right now because they seem
Chiefs.
Yeah, the Chiefs. I think the Browns are most definitely going to make the playoffs.
Today was a huge step forward for them, and they have 7 wins. So I don't know what the nature of their schedule looks like.
Okay, so here's the rest of their schedule. They're at the Broncos, at the Rams, at home against the Jags, at home against the Bears, at the Texans, at home against the Jets, and at the Bengals. If you play
not too bad.
500, you're in the
Yeah,
playoffs.
and Jacksonville.
Yeah,
Jacksonville's
absolutely.
in now, too.
Yeah.
I think Jags are in, even if they're just a wild card if they lose to the Texans. I think the Jags are in the playoffs.
So then you think the Texans are probably in too.
I think they're a game behind, and I think they are in. I would say there's 6 teams that I feel comfortable saying are probably going to be playoff teams.
So that means the last one comes down to the Bills and Jets, the Steelers, and the Bengals, if Kurt Browning is any good. The Colts technically would still be there. Then you have Vegas, the Broncos, and the Chargers.
Yeah, I think I think all those teams are vying for one spot. Unless somebody, and it could be the Texans, the bottom falls out of them.
The Texans feel...
Or the Browns, the bottom fall, because their quarterback can't play, and the bottom falls out of them.
Well, how much of that Houston game did you watch today, Meaney? Because that was the main screen game for me. And
Yeah.
it felt like things were starting to fall apart for them in the second half of that game. It was the worst I've seen them play in 6 weeks, was that second half. And they held on. They still won, but Stroud took a big shot at the end of the first half, had to come out of the game, came back in, and after that, he still made some great throws, but he made some uncharacteristic decisions. I don't know if he was like concussed or something and just shedded it off, but like the decision-making wasn't quite there. The timing was off for them a little bit, and frankly, Arizona had every chance to win that game. They turned the ball over twice in the red zone. They got that stupid punt call against them where it was very clearly not a fumble.
Oh, awful. Worst call I've seen maybe
That was
all
pathetic.
season. Changed the whole game.
Yeah,
could have changed the whole playoff factor in the AFC because that more or less handed the Texans 80% on the win percentage scale there. Like, huge missed call.
So I don't know.
I watched that entire game. I thought they escaped, Pat, with a victory. I thought they escaped. The second that he took that shot was when I really started to see some poor throws from him, and I wondered the same thing. Is he concussed? How good is he feeling here in this game? They play. It's all going to be about next week. If they beat Jacksonville next week,
They have the tie break on them then, yeah.
they have the tiebreaker with those wins that they've racked up over the past couple inside the conference. So, they've already beat Jacksonville, right? They crushed them earlier in the season by 20. So if they win that game, then maybe they're both in. I would say they're
That's
both
what
in.
I
The
mean.
Steelers, I was just saying something with the Steelers. They haven't outgained any team yet this year. That's remarkable. The fact that they're above 500 in the playoff picture and they haven't had one game where they've had more yards than the opposing team. Like, how pathetic is that?
How much is Cam going to like the Bengals as Cats starting a backup QB next week
Who do they
against
play?
the Steelers?
I mean, I might like them against
I
the
think
Steelers, too.
if there was ever a game that was tailor-made for Cam's sensibilities, it will be the Bengals as probably dogs next week.
Oh, I just got a text from someone that says, what does Garrett Wilson have against catching the ball?
He's had a couple of drops today. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. We need Rodgers back. December 24th, we heard it today. We know it now. We can set that out as I get 3 games.
Will you make the wager then with the people?
I don't need to make a wager. He's out there making that claim.
Well, he's making the
So
claim.
I'm gonna say
you
that-
realize that he's not the one who gets to decide this, right? The team doctors have to decide this?
I think the doctors, if he says he's good to go, the doctors will
Really, the doctor's like, yeah, you're right, Aaron. Not us, the doctors.
He's
it's
a very
you.
persuasive person.
Is he? He's it's worked on you.
I'm spellbound.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it.
Whatever he is selling, Tim is buying 100%.
I mean, and
I
I'm
am not buying.
I am also a willing buyer. I'm coming in the store with the cash in my hand, right? Like I am looking to make a sale. And he's there to take it.
Seattle going for the win here, 55-yard attempt.
Yeah, ours didn't even cut back to that yet. That's no fun.
I want to believe.
Need this.
Both Tim and I it's no longer the Super Lock for the next month. It's the Omaha Steaks premium pick of the week. OmahaSteaks.com is a 50% site-wide offer off right now, so 50% off. Plus code Mayo gets you an extra $30 off at Omaha Steaks. So if you're like me and you're terrible at giving gifts to like your father-in-law or your dad or your grandfather or random people in your life who like meat, send them some Omaha Steaks. Code Mayo. You get on that, all right? Do it now before there's too much shipping. You want to make sure it actually gets there in time. So do that now. Code Mayo. That would super help us out. They lost, didn't they?
That wasn't even close.
They lost. They missed it.
Perfect.
Yeah. Not
Oh,
even close.
The Rams.
Damn it.
There
Oh,
we
my
go.
goodness. I knew that game was over. The second Drew Lock came in.
Anyway, our Omaha Steaks premium pick this week, both Tim and I had Miami. And
It was the right pick.
just the Raiders did the exact same thing against the Lions. The Raiders got smoked today. It wasn't to watch the game. You're just like, all right, here comes Miami. They're going to score. Oh, no, they turned the ball over. And just fluky fumbles. It was just like, oh, my God. And the Devontae Adams touchdown.
Seattle covered, did they not?
No,
That
they
game
were,
was a point and a half. At least it went off at a point and a half.
they were favored by a point.
See, the Rams
Yeah.
went off as a point and a half favorite in this game.
I mean, remember, Tim?
I thought on the show the Rams
on
were
the
also
show
a
when
point
we
and a
make
half
the
favorite.
picks, that's what
I thought the Rams were a point and a half favorite on the show.
they may have been a point favorite. I can guarantee you they were not a point and a half favorite.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
You must have taken
was
Seattle then.
favored.
Well, yeah, I think Seattle is a good team.
If you're trying to fudge the line by 2.5 points, it sounds like you took Seattle.
Well, I mean, yeah.
yeah? Is that, you're
I think they're a good
you're
team
like
too,
Cam.
but tough loss.
That was a very tough one. I mean, if Gino doesn't get hurt, they win the game. They're 7-3.
Do they win the game if Gino doesn't get hurt?
Yes.
Why?
And they play San Francisco next week, and I still like them next week against San Francisco.
Gino-
But I liked them better if they have Gino.
Gino had a great first 20 minutes of this game, then he was doing nothing. And then he got hurt.
Yeah.
So what makes Gino so special that he was definitely going to come back
I don't know.
and win this game
Gino's
for them?
pretty good. That Seahawk team is actually really talented. They just have had some bad breaks.
He's had a rough year. Gino's had a rough go though. I mean, I thought we all agree he was going to regress, but not to this point. He's been pretty average all year, especially on the road. I
don't
worry
know.
about him.
I don't have an NFC. I'm sort of like to see Seattle and
Yeah.
Atlanta do well.
When,
here
when
in
we
the
made
NFC.
our picks, it was Seattle -1.
Okay.
So you're really giving
That's
yourself a lot of points there to try to get some credit on a
I
game
mean, I'm
you
surprised.
didn't bet.
I mean, it moved obviously to the Rams because that's where it should have always been. But fair enough.
If it was always supposed to be there, why'd you take Seattle?
I don't think we knew the Stafford
In a
was
coin
gonna
flip
play.
game.
I mean, that's what the line was
Yeah,
telling
but we
you.
didn't know that. It hadn't been announced. I think I was hedging.
You were
Thought
hedging
Carson Wentz
on
was going
the
to suit
point?
up.
And I always take Seattle because I think Seattle should win the game. They should have won the game.
They didn't win the game.
They should have.
They
If
don't
their
beat the
quarterback
Rams.
didn't get hurt, they win. That's not really up for debate. They lost because Drew Lock threw a terrible interception.
You didn't
which
even
Gino
see the
doesn't throw.
interception. How do you know it was terrible?
Because Chris doesn't lie. Chris doesn't come on the air to lie. If he says it, then it's so.
I try to tell the truth, but
Yeah, you do.
yeah. Ken Walker went down. Offense started to struggle after that.
Bad luck.
Drew Lock comes in. Yeah, GG.
Well, we didn't get the poor Cam's buddy doesn't see his Drew Lock rookie cards go through the roof. Unfortunately, they probably lost whatever little value they had left. What other games are there like really worth talking about? Jags look good. Let's talk.
Yeah, Jags look
Chargers
good.
are
Trevor
done.
Lawrence looked good.
We can bury the Chargers.
You can't.
now.
You can
Yes,
never.
can.
You can never bury the Chargers. It doesn't work like
They
that.
got 6 losses. They still got a game against the Chiefs and the Ravens.
That doesn't mean anything. They
They're
can beat
done.
those
No,
teams.
They're done. They're done. You can say goodbye to them now.
Well, we have to congratulate Jeff
Yes.
on the birth of his baby boy today.
Congratulations.
You
Jeff.
don't have to clap.
Sure I do.
It's weird.
No, it's not. That's how people congratulate other people, through applause.
We're on a show live.
Yeah.
We're saying it.
Yeah. You're saying it. I'm not saying it. I'm
So
clapping.
you're sitting there clapping into
Yeah,
a microphone?
that's what people do.
That's what people do.
Yeah, that is what people do.
It's not what they do. It's a really bizarre behavior.
okay.
Anyway, congratulations, Jeff. And what
Yes.
did he say? That welcome.
I'll read
You had a tweet about it.
I'll read the tweet. I want to quote him exactly here. I met my son for the first time, comma, I told him the Chargers lost and to get used to it. Mama was a champ.
My goodness, they just every single week these guys find a way to lose a football game. And Staley was pretty hot in the press conference. I don't know if you saw that. He snapped at some reporter. I'm going to call defensive plays. I told you this last week. I'm going to call defensive plays the rest of the year, so you can stop asking me that. I don't think it's really their defense, although they gave one up pretty late. They just find ways to lose football games. Whether years in the past, they got probably the best kicker in football now. Dicker the kicker, like he doesn't miss anything, but they still find ways to lose. Whether it's an Eckler fumble inside the red zone, late touchdowns the other way. Herbert, will struggle inside the red zone as well. I look ahead at their schedule; they're completely done. Like
Yeah,
they got
they're done.
Baltimore coming up. Yeah, they got the Bills. There's a
Kansas
couple
City.
games that they could win, but they won't sweep Denver.
No, their season's over
they're
now.
finished.
They should fire their coach. Their season's now over.
If their season's over, why would they fire their coach?
Get a leg up on the competition. Start looking for a new coach. If
when
you know he's not your guy, and he hasn't earned the right to finish things out, he's been a disaster.
Yeah, but then you have to pay someone else.
You have to pay for someone else anyway.
Not if you continue to pay him for the
I
rest of
think
the year if
giving
it doesn't
Kellen
matter.
Moore the reins, if you like Kellen Moore, give him the reins interimly, and if he shows promise, keep him. What a great in-season training opportunity this is.
Maybe. I don't think that they're done. You can never count out the Chargers. They'll beat the three best teams on their schedule.
Were I Washington, I would relieve Ron Rivera today and give Bieniemy the rest of the season to show what he's got as a head coach. Your season's over. Why not? Use this. You make these games valuable for you.
If you didn't fire Ron Rivera at the end of last year and brought in Bieniemy, you're very clearly giving Ron Rivera the year. That's part of the deal.
I guess so. I just wish they didn't.
You don't want to show any respect. Some longtime
Well, no,
coaches.
I usually do, but if you have someone waiting in the wings, I mean, and this is what Dallas did with Wade Phillips when they gave the job to Jason Garrett. We've seen it in the past where, if you have the guy, you think he might be something, don't even let him interview for other jobs. Don't even give him that opportunity. Just give it to him on an interim basis and let's stress test it. See how it goes. That's what I would do.
I know it's just the Commanders, but that's one of the most surprising things to me today is that how they lost to the Giants. Like, how could you lose to the Giants twice in one season? A team that averages 10 points a game. They're 150 yards per game. Like, they are at the bottom of every single offensive metric. They have one player, and it's Saquon Barkley. And they let this DeVito kid toss 3 touchdowns against them at home. No excuse. I would agree with Tim. Move on from Rivera. Let's see what the enemy hasn't had this opportunity
Exactly.
for years. We've been wanting this guy to have an opportunity. Let's just give
it to him.
Give it an opportunity now. I mean, Rivera, this season's done for Washington. Not that they were going to make it, but the fact that they lost to the Giants twice in 1 year, it's pretty embarrassing.
Maybe it's stealthy tanking.
No, I don't think that there's any of that craftiness going on.
Well, maybe that's just the way that
No,
works.
they're just
They don't even have running water at their stadium.
I know. What the hell
You
is
think
that?
they're going to fire a
Classic
coach and
Washington.
pay for a new
If I were
coordinator?
the
to
NFL, I
come
wouldn't
up?
let them play any more home games. I say to you, fix your water and fix sewage.
And the field and everything.
You either
Yeah.
play your games at the Nationals Park or you have to be on the road for every game. Sorry.
I don't think they can just say we're playing at Nationals Park.
Or go play at old RFK. Or just, you know what? You don't get to play home games anymore. Sorry.
Well, it's a traveling sideshow.
There are a lot of football fields available in the Washington, D.C. area from universities. Go play there.
Okay.
You can't play at home anymore.
We should do the moment of the day. There's a layup for moment of
There's
the
only
day.
one.
Well, there's actually a few. There's one very specific one that I had from the Titans Jags
Those
game.
shrimp smell so good, by the way.
You're begging for some shrimp. Huh?
I am, I'm up on tenter hooks here.
Do you know what the moment of the day is, Meaney?
It's got to be something in the Jets game for Tim.
It is.
It was Zach Wilson tripping over his own feet and falling backwards, running onto the
Yes.
field. That's it.
Yeah, that's the moment. That's the moment. And hey, maybe they won't play him next week.
Maybe they won't, but like that moment,
That'll be a moment for you.
just laid down a straight flush against you. So whatever you want to lay down can't beat what I've got.
I have two. And I don't think you were here for either one of these ones. So it'll be news to you, and then you can say, just take my word on it and tell other people. Vegas got the turnover very late in the first half. There was 55 seconds left on the clock. And it was like on the 35, 40-yard line of the Dolphins, and like they're down in the game. They were down by 4 at the time.
You told me about this.
And all they decided to do was just run it with Jacobs 3 times to run Miami out of timeouts and then like leave themselves with a 49-yard field goal. It was mind-boggling. Like, you're playing the Dolphins. I understand that the score didn't end up that way, but the Dolphins could have scored 45 points in that game. They didn't because they made boneheaded moves. But if you're Vegas, you got to try to put some points on the board. They actively worked against that despite being gifted a turnover in Miami's end to end a half. Even if they had not gotten it or they had gone for it on 4th down or pressed the ball down the field, unless they had turned the ball over instantaneously, then it wasn't going to be anything. Like Miami was going to come back and score on you before the end of the half. So that was really stupid. But my favorite one was there was a punt in Tennessee punted to the Jags. Number 40 on Tennessee, Kendall. He like tripped over the ball, turning the punt was short and he turned around, but then he fell on his ass, but the ball started rolling towards him and his ass was almost on the goal line. So what he did when the ball, he tried to give it a little kick and he missed it. Yeah. So he just put his hands down, vaulted himself up on his lifted himself off the ground until he was in the air and just toe tipped it out while he was in the air before he landed in the end zone. They downed it at the 1 yard line.
Wow.
But then someone on the Titans took a penalty, so they got in the 11 anyway.
Should have been a penalty for kicking the ball.
Why?
You're allowed to kick the ball. You're not allowed to kick the ball.
What do you mean?
Not to down it?
You can kick it out of bounds, no?
No, that's illegal
kick it.
kicking. You can only kick it if it's a punt or a kick.
Or maybe that's what it was then.
Yeah,
Maybe that
you're
was
not
the 10-yard
allowed
penalty.
to just kick the ball.
Didn't one of the Chicago linemen kick it out at that final play for
You
Detroit?
could do it
on that safety?
if you're flailing
do
around
it.
and it's clearly an accident, they don't call it.
Yeah.
But if it's intentional,
You can
you're
make
gonna
it
kick the
seem like
ball,
an
yeah.
accident. Yeah.
You know how many times the Dolphins have played 10 games this year? You know how many times they've exceeded 24 points this season?
Who?
The Dolphins in their 10 games.
5?
They have scored 5 times. Yeah, exceeded 24 points 5 times. This great offense that is like world-changing, they've broken 24 points 5 times out of 10. That's it.
I have to ask.
Didn't realize this was the 99 Rams. This is the 2001 Rams.
So besides people
I didn't realize this was the greatest team of all time.
people on Dolphins Reddit who have said these things, who else is telling you this?
Every Dolphin fan I know
Every single
is
one, huh?
Going
so your dad
out.
came up to you and was like, this is the 99 Rams. Is that a quote from your dad? You can quote him on that.
No, the way they're talking about the Dolphins is like they're talking about the greatest offense that anyone's ever seen.
Main character you is taking things that you hear out of context to trigger yourself.
They're talking about this team as like the greatest offense they've ever seen.
It's a good offense.
It's an okay
It's a good offense.
They're not even the number
It's
one.
a good
No,
offense.
they're okay. They're fine.
It's a good offense, but this is another team just like Dallas, right? They haven't beat anybody. And it must be something inside the division because Bills fans send me Miami stuff all the time as well. And I got this message this morning from producer Drew. Says 421 days since Tua has beat a winning team. And if they win today, it won't matter because it's against the Raiders.
Who aren't a winning team.
It's a year and a half here now, almost, where this team hasn't beaten a winning squad. But I still think that they have a really good offense.
Yeah, so they play
but it's going to get tested here down the stretch of the season.
So they play a good team in the playoffs and they score 22 points and we're like, oh, well, they had a fun year. They're not a very good team. They're not on the level of Chiefs.
Yeah,
or
who has
Ravens.
said that besides you? Apparently,
Like they're not a Super Bowl contender.
Okay.
This team can.
I don't
not
recall
win.
anyone saying they were a Super Bowl contender.
Oh well, you don't spend enough time on.
Where
the
would you
internet.
rank them in
I don't
the
spend enough time on
AFC?
Dolphins Reddit, do I, to think that they're a Super Bowl contender?
No, I guess not. They're not.
I'm not missing anything.
Yeah, so Cust getting all of his Dolphins information from Dolphins Reddit. Should I go and read what they say on Jets Reddit?
Oh, I'm sure it's real dark.
Oh, yeah, but it's not Zach's fault. There's a lot of
don't know.
No, there's a lot. No, according to Jets Reddit, never Zach's fault.
Funny, I think
it's an offensive line
The last few
problem.
weeks, things have turned against Zach. I have found.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and understandably, he.
But what about all the other times when he was also dog shit? But no, it wasn't his fault.
I mean, you expect fans to make excuses.
Oh, really?
for their
Oh, so
team.
you expect fans to be morons?
No, I didn't say that.
No, I'm just gonna. I'm gonna say, I'm going to go on to each team's Reddit. I'm going to read asinine things and just say collectively that's what people think about these teams.
It's not a good offense. It's an okay offense. It's
You just said it's not a good offense.
It's not good.
It's
When they
just
play a
from
good
they're
team,
not
they
the
never win.
99 Rams to they're not a good offense, and now you're backtracking.
They play real good teams.
No one is saying these things. You're making up straw men to fight.
They're not good.
Where would you rank them, Tim, in the AFC? Miami?
I don't know, like
not their offense,
fifth,
but their
sixth.
team.
Fifth or sixth, probably. Like behind Jacksonville, they played the Texans. I would pick the Texans.
Do you pick them against
I
anyone?
think I'll be on Miami.
No. Once we
I'd
get to
be on Miami.
like the Steelers, I would take the Dolphins. The Bills on a neutral field. I mean, I guess I got to take the Bills because the Bills blew them out, but the Bills are really hurt. They're like a middle of the pack wild card team who, when they play a good team in the playoffs, will do what they always do and they'll lose because the Dolphins haven't won a playoff game since I think the year 2000.
When was the last time the Jets made the playoffs?
2010 when they went to the AFC Championship game and then got screwed on a holding call.
So it's been 14 years since they made the playoffs?
Yeah, it's been a while.
You really wanted
Then
to
they had a
talk
great. Then they had a great shot this year, and their quarterback ruptured his Achilles.
Oh, yeah,
tendon
well,
on
they
the
already
first play
won
of
the
game.
hypothetical Super Bowl.
They did win the
according to you.
hypothetical Super
What
Bowl.
about when you came on this fucking show 3 weeks ago and had them winning out on their schedule?
I was very excited. Okay.
Wow.
I was excited. I get excitable. I'm not gonna lie. I get excitable. I want these popcorn shrimp.
Well, they're not fucking done yet.
I know, but I want them.
Still loving the air fryer, right?
The food coming out of the air fryer has been, by and large, quite delicious. I have to say.
The chat is just like making fun of Miami. Well, the Jets turn the ball over and over and over and over.
The Jets are horrific on offense.
And not every offense can be as good as Zach Wilson and company.
The Jets are horrific.
And many people are just saying that it's just you being mad that the Jets didn't get Dobbs.
No, I didn't want Dobbs. I still don't want Dobbs. I think Dobbs is going to have trouble
Come
tonight
on.
in the cold against the Broncos. I think there's a good chance.
I mean,
that Dobbs,
the guy
Why
that used
didn't
to
the
play-
Jets?
because
Why
Rodgers
didn't the
is
Jets
coming
make
back.
a move?
Because you asked why?
Yes.
That's why. Because they believe, and they said it on the broadcast today, the whole franchise has bought into the idea that Rodgers is coming back. So why am I trading for a quarterback who's going to play for 4 weeks? Why would I give up an asset when I've got one of the best players to ever play the game coming back in a couple of weeks?
This is a great comment from Thomas W. This is my single favorite comment, I think, ever. Main character Cust is allowed to get too excited about the Jets, but the NPCs online talking about the Dolphins are the scum of the earth.
The NPCs.
That really is how you view people as non-player characters.
That's not true. That's not
You
true.
absolutely do.
No, I
That's a part of being a main character.
No, I'm not a main character. Stop saying that. Give me a complex.
You should already have the main characters can't have the complex. That's why you don't. We've said this to you for like 5 years now, and you still haven't clued into it. That's part of being the main character.
Not a main character.
Who's not scoring the first
And
touchdown?
you're going to have
tonight?
a rough go week 12 and week 15. If the
Russell
Jets
Wilson.
get swept by Miami, you're going to have a rough go.
Russell Wilson, really? I like that.
I don't think Russell Wilson scores.
He has successfully predicted who won't score the first touchdown only twice in the past 5 weeks, Meaney. So he's hit the actual one 3 of the past
Wow.
5 weeks.
That's tough to do, man.
And in one of them,
How do you
the
pull that
player.
off?
I don't know. I don't know.
Michael Mayer had never got a touchdown in his career, and it was the only touchdown of the game
To beat the Jets.
to beat the Jets.
Yeah. Wasn't
Man,
that
Russ
fun?
has been playing pretty good.
1.8-1 at
And he's
DraftKings
running,
Sportsbook.
too. Bad call.
Russell's
He's
been
going to score tonight.
good.
We talked about this earlier. Russell should really be the comeback player of the year in a lot of ways if he keeps this up. Russell has been great. I've been very impressed with Russell Wilson this season. Even when they were getting humiliated on defense, he wasn't playing badly. I really liked. I think Minnesota is very overmatched tonight. I think that is a buzzsaw that they're about to walk into outdoors in Denver. Well, boy, we'll see.
I agree, actually.
I mean, Dobbs has played well, but like that's a tough spot, and I think
You act like Dobbs never played outside before.
not well.
He played pretty well in that play-in playoff game last year.
I mean, he did fumble the ball to lose.
Sure, in a spot where he was signed 3 days before to play.
That's when he's best, I've been told.
Well, he's been there for like 3 weeks now.
Oh, no, he's the best player when he has no time to prepare, so no excuse there.
Well, he
Try
did,
again.
But he did play well in that game.
Not well enough to win.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I know. How unfair of me to expect him to win.
Oh, okay. So
How
this is
unfair.
where we're going now. So this is the standard I'm going to hold you to with all of what you say from now on. Remember Paul when he wouldn't take your Minnesota to make the playoffs bet? despite he said there was zero chance of it happening.
I'm glad I didn't.
I think that there should
They're
be.
cruising right now.
I think that he should have to put money into a pot. This will be our thing for next year. That you have to put $3,000 into a pot at the beginning of the season. When you make these asinine claims, we can all pick how much we want to bet you on these claims. When you say things like
All that will have the effect of doing is that I won't make any claims all year long.
You can't help
I
yourself.
can help
you
myself.
You cannot help yourself.
I have restraint.
You have no restraint. You came on here and said the Jets were going to run the rest of the team.
I know what I said. And I got
You
excited.
thought that was showing good restraint, did
I
you?
got excited. I want these shrimp.
You know what? Don't give them the shrimp.
No shrimp for you. Yeah.
No shrimp for you.
Gotta
You
have these
fucking
shrimp.
stop. You can hear it cooking.
That
You want to eat it
that
fucking
shrimp
frozen?
sounds so
Is that what you want?
good.
You want to eat it like your fucking mozzarella sticks?
Ooh, that's the buzzer too. Which
No.
means it's done.
Fucking
It's
throw
too hot. He'd burn
dump.
himself.
Come and dump them on the floor right here.
Would you still eat them?
Russ
Yes, he
is
would.
28 to 1 at DraftKings Sports.
Oh, 28 to 1.
That's quite the number.
Don't-
For a guy who's been running a little
Man.
bit more recently.
A lot. Yeah. He's cleared his rushing yard prop, I think, in 70% of his games.
Mayer was top.
Kinda
of
looks like
market
the old
in
Russ.
DraftKings last week, wasn't he?
He was, yeah, 25 to 1. I only got him at 22 to 1. Still very profitable, though.
I mean,
made it a
obviously.
winning week for me. Thank you. You have to
I'm
eat the
putting in
tomato
Russ
next
for
week
his touchdown right now.
if I can figure out how to make it in the air fryer. I didn't have time.
I've
I've been very sick for the past 3
I
days.
understand.
I've been trying not to go places. All right, week 12 spreads from DraftKings Sportsbook. We'll get those all rigged up once Paul figures out the popcorn shrimp situation. Someone in the chat mentioned the CFL. They're banned for life.
Now they can go watch it.
Yeah, now you have plenty of time never to watch this show again.
Feel free.
And you can go fuck yourself and go to your fucking hick football. Absolute nutlow. Did you ever come to when we used to go to the Dogs Bullocks to watch the games, Meaney, and like people would want to come in and turn on the Grey Cup and just no, not happening.
No,
it's
like
you can-
what the hell?
you can
You're not
lose-
taking over.
You can lose me and my party of 15 that I bring in every Sunday, or you can let
Yeah.
guy wearing a pleather jacket and a leather hat walk in who looked like he fucking stumbled off the turnip truck from 8 hours away. Oh, hello. Can I watch the CFL? And go fuck yourself, pal. Why don't you go back to fucking Winnipeg? Piece of shit. God,
I've seen one full CFL game and it was just live. That's it. And it was I wasn't entertained.
I went to
And I drank a lot.
I went to a Stampeders game when I lived in Calgary.
I did too once.
And I will not repeat what they called the Edmonton team.
No, it was.
It was quite racist. At least the place where I was sitting in the stands, it was like, Jesus.
These are very hot, aren't they?
Nah, they're not hot. Shove them into you, Tim. They're not hot.
Yeah, even though the breading is not scalding, they kind of are. I'll wait a few minutes.
I put them on extra a little bit longer. Put them
Yeah,
on a little bit
extra
longer just to make
crispies-
them like crispy.
Yeah,
crispy.
extra crispy is the way to go on these things.
Yeah.
I agree.
All right, Paul, let me know when you have DraftKings Sportsbook pulled up.
Yeah, I was just confirming that that Russ is 28 to 1 there. There were people in the
Yeah,
chat.
I made the bet.
Spreading fake news saying 22.
Fake news.
It's better than that. It was only 22 where I was able to bet it. DraftKings Sportsbook should come to Nova Scotia.
I know.
I'd play there.
I would bet there too.
Yeah. I agree.
All right, Thursday night football. We've got the Green Bay Packers at the Detroit Lions. Who's up first?
Me, I'll start.
Okay.
Thursday morning football.
Yeah, that's right. We will be doing some sort
Oh,
of
yes. My bad. I'm done.
we'll be doing some sort of morning content on Thanksgiving. I'm just not quite sure what that is now. I was trying to plan it with Cam, and he seems to have no conception of the shows that we do ever that I do with him. It was very confusing. He's like, well, I can join you at the end of the first game for like a segment in the fourth quarter. I was like, Cam, I don't know what kind of shows that you think that we do here. It is not those type of shows. We're not doing like live in-game hits.
He was on this exact show last year.
He
so-
forgets that, by the way.
Yeah, which is
Oh, yeah.
That was a classic show.
got a
He's
lot
on a
going on.
lot of shows. He's on like 4 hours of live shows every single day, in fairness to Cam. But yeah, Pat. Packers at Lions.
Lions by 8.
Nope.
The Crisco.
It's to you.
Ooh, that's a good.
Oh, is it me?
Yeah.
a good
It
guess.
always goes me than you.
Lions by 7.5.
Yes. Ding, ding, ding. 2 points for Cust.
Doing
good
it
guess,
to us
Pat.
again.
And Cust leads off on this next one, which is the Washington Commanders at the Dallas Cowboys.
Cowboys by 10.
Nope.
Meaney.
Man, 10.5.
Correct. Ding, ding, ding. Meaney.
Nice.
Meaney's hot out of the gate.
Meaney's
One of our-
looking at DraftKings Sportsbook
It's-
as we're speaking.
I know. I promise. I don't have it up.
Yeah, probably. All right, moving on down. We've got San Francisco at Seattle.
San Francisco by 4.
Nope.
Totally forgot Gino's hurt. Go ahead.
What did Chris guess? He goes first. It's the third game.
Oh, I didn't.
Oh, it was Chris's first. My bad.
Well,
I should have stopped you from saying that.
I stepped on it, so you can get second then, Meaney.
6.5.
Nope.
San Fran.
4.5.
That's what I guessed.
It's so Meaney gets it. It's San Francisco by 6.
I was never getting there.
San Francisco by 6.
That's a Drew Lock line.
By 6.
Is it a Drew Lock line though?
I don't know.
Or that sounds like
that's fair.
that sounds
That's
like
like
a hedge line.
Yeah, it's an in-between line. Because with Lock, it should be like 7.5. With Gino,
Yes.
it should be like 4. So
I don't know if there's that big of a gap between them.
I think no.
There's
no.
that
Drew
big of
Lock's
a-
bad.
There's that big of
Yeah,
a
he
gap
is
between
bad.
Drew Lock and Gino of last year. Gino of last year was not Gino
No,
of
no,
this year.
but Gino this year still here, middle of the pack.
Now he's
Middle of the pack.
bottom of the middle of the pack.
Again, we have this conversation. You underestimate how awful most quarterbacks are in this league.
Yeah, but
God
they're all,
awful.
But like you said, they're all the same once
But
you get
Drew
to a
Lock's
point.
somehow so bad that it's noticeable.
Oh, okay. So he's the one who's
he's
so bad, it's
noticeably
noticeable.
bad. He's like almost Zach Wilson bad. Almost. These are very good bad.
Drew Lock, who you didn't see throw a pass today.
It's not true.
Oh, you didn't see him throw an interception today. You only saw him throw completions today. And you've seen him throw, what, maybe 12 lifetime passes? But you're for sure.
No, he started for the Broncos for like 7, 8, 9 weeks.
You're not watching Broncos games, pal.
Sure I am. Same as you were.
What's
Here.
that? We've only been doing this 2 years here.
3. It's our third year.
This is our third year. Did we not do this show?
No, we did not do Sunday Night Live the first year.
Oh, that's too bad. Maybe we have to cancel it. Enough of this. Enough of this show. All right, next game.
Black Friday special. We got the Dolphins at the Jets. Tim Boyle and the Jets, perhaps?
Who does that move the line towards?
I don't think it moves it at all.
I would agree.
Are the Dolphins favored by less if Tim Boyle
No, I
is
think
starting?
it's exactly the same.
All right, I'll say Dolphins by 6.
No.
7 for Boyle.
Ding,
7.
ding, ding.
Yeah, it's got to be the right line. Would you like any of these?
No.
Okay.
Sunday, we move on to the main slate. We got
This guy's
Jackson.
just like, where's the cat? Where's the cocktail sauce? Like, it's not a fucking restaurant. in
Tim
here.
hates ketchup.
It's also not a fucking restaurant.
Would you eat cocktail sauce? Yeah, exactly. I figured that. I was actually looking in there for
No.
like a sauce.
I don't
then
like
I was just
cocktail
like, there
sauce.
was hot sauce, and I know he's too soft for that.
I don't mind like Tabasco.
Talking to the microphone.
Oh, well, sorry, I was talking
In
to Paul, but I
fairness,
should
he's
have talked to
talking
the
me,
microphone.
and I'm over here.
I should have talked into the microphone.
He's new at this.
You definitely should have given
we've
him
only
some
been
hot
doing it
sauce,
2
Paul.
years.
All right. Jacksonville at Houston.
Jacksonville and Houston. I think that Jacksonville needs to be favored in this game. Jacksonville by 1.5.
Nope.
Jags 2.5.
Nope.
Houston by 1.
It's Jags by 1.
Jags by 1.
So Tim
gets
wins
it.
because he was the closest.
That makes sense.
It does. I think Jacksonville has
Yeah.
to be favored, but it's it's a coin flip
I know the Texans beat them earlier this year.
and
but
play them well.
I do think the Jags are a much better team.
I
Their
think-
offense
Me
isn't
too.
as good as Houston's, but their defense is so much better.
Yeah, I agree. I think I'm leaning towards Jacksonville in that game too.
3 for 3.
Jags showed up big this week, so
Yes, indeed, they did.
Les Titans were not very good.
no. We got the Saints at the Falcons.
Am I up? I'm up.
You are,
I'll say. Oh man. I'll say that the Saints are favored by a point.
Ding, ding, ding.
Do we,
Okay, I would have said the Falcons by 1.
do we know if Derek Carr is starting? Because he was injured the last time that
don't.
we saw him.
We don't.
So we're not really
we
even
don't
getting
know.
a Jameis
They were
versus.
on bye this week.
They were on bye, so we don't know exactly what's going on.
My gut
Jameis.
certainly leans towards Atlanta in that game.
I mean, like I said, I'm just going to bet tie because both these teams fucking suck and people think that they're good.
They really do. And
Like, they're
Atlanta
awful.
either wins by a point or two or they lose by a point or two. So yeah, it's a good.
I think Atlanta's like one of the most. Last year they were kind of underrated. Atlanta seems like the most overrated team in football this year.
100% agree. Yeah.
Bijan
Totally
Robinson, social media running
Quarterback
back.
play is awful.
We should have the social media all-stars at the end of the year. We have Herbert and Bijan, Garrett Wilson.
Garrett Wilson.
Garrett Wilson
And
deserves to be
by
on
the
that way,
list.
Sauce Gardner, social media defensive back. He sucks.
Well, no. The numbers say
Oh, yeah, he had a very good game
Wow,
today.
he did
We're getting
not.
lit up by fucking Khalil Shakir.
he did not play well today. And the numbers show he's been like the
No,
seventh
he
or
didn't.
eighth best cornerback this year, not the best. DJ Reed on the Jets was at one point, like a week or two ago, the number one cornerback in football. DJ Reed is underratedly a very good player.
Covering those number twos.
Tony Pollard on that list too. Although he scored today, finally.
They made an effort to get him a touchdown today.
Have to. Got to get that guy's confidence up.
All right, we got the Patriots at the Giants.
Oh, Lord.
What an ugly. I mean,
goodness.
DeVito was doing things today.
DeVito did throw 3 touchdowns. I love the Patriots in this game.
I did till today.
Or
DeVito showed he could actually do something against an awful team.
Okay.
Okay, but he did. Like, he wasn't. If you can play, I mean, the Patriots are worse than the Commanders.
Okay.
And I'm just saying, I needed to see that before I could ever pick the Giants again.
It's in MetLife.
Yes.
Patriots by 2 points.
Nope.
3.5.
Ding, ding, ding.
3.5.
Wow.
Maybe I don't like that as much.
Yeah, I don't like
They
that
don't like
either,
3 of
actually.
these so far.
Yeah. I like the Giants in that game.
Who would you rather have, DeVito or Zach Wilson? After what you saw today.
You can't say DeVito.
No, I won't say DeVito, but I won't say DeVito.
You probably
but-
should though. You should
but
say
At least he
DeVito.
did. At least he showed something today. Like,
Saquon had a hell of a game. I think Saquon really kind of
He did.
like cut those 2 catching or
these might
receiving
be
touchdowns were
second
pretty
best
money.
thing we've made.
To the kale chips. Interesting.
Then there was like another one where somebody was just like literally wide open. Washington was just abysmal.
I have 0 points in this. 7 to 5 to 0
Getting rooked.
is how it's shaking out right now.
All right, we got the Panthers at the Titans.
Who's pick?
Yours.
Panthers at. Oh my God! What a game. Titans by 2.5.
Nope.
Titans by 3.5. Oh, that feels ugly.
No.
Oh, do I go 4 or 3? 4.
Ding, ding, ding. There you are. You're on the
I don't
board
get
now.
double points for it because I was last, but
Some of these totals in these
game.
games are ugly.
I can't
What-
imagine.
what is-
back-to-back
what is the
brutal
total in that
games.
game?
That's 38. The Giants and Patriots is a 35. Wow. And then the next
33
game
today.
is a 35.5.
What's the next game?
We got Steelers at Bengals without Burrow, obviously, because he's out for the season.
Man, there's a lot of bad offenses. Tim said it earlier, bad quarterbacks. There are a ton of just, I've never seen a season like this in a long time. There's a lot of totals that are in the mid to low 30s, and I have no problem taking the under. Like the 33 between the Browns and the Steelers, you never had to sweat that out for a second today.
No, it's like 2001 all over again.
So this is Pittsburgh at Cincinnati?
Correct.
Is it me?
Yeah,
It
it's
is.
you, Meaney.
Okay. Oh my goodness. Probably should be a pick 'em. I'll just go Cincy 1.5.
Nope.
Smash the like while you're here watching and sub to Mayo Media Network, by the way, and buy Omaha Steaks. Cincinnati by 2.
Nope.
I'm going to go the other way. I think Steelers have to be favored.
Why do the Steelers have to be favored?
They're 6-4, and they aren't starting a backup. Yeah, whatever.
Are they not starting a backup quarterback?
You know what? Pick them.
So Meaney wins because it's Cincy by 1.
Oh.
He said 1.5.
He said 1.5.
Okay.
Yeah, I said 1.5.
Yeah, Pittsburgh starting
Steelers
backup
should
quarterback.
win that game, right?
I feel like Steelers are going to go off as the favorite in that game.
I would think so too. I think I like
Yeah.
Cincinnati.
Like, I don't like either of them, but
Like,
like,
how bad is Browning real?
rookie quarterback taking on the Steelers defense is at least good.
It's okay.
Like, that could get really out of hand
I mean,
real
we
fast.
just saw a rookie quarterback play the Steelers on defense today.
The Steelers aren't capable
That's
of
fair.
blowing anybody
fair.
out.
I'm taking the under right now.
Yeah. This is like a 13-10 game.
All right, we got the Bucks at the Colts.
I think it's on Pat.
Yeah, it is. Colts by 1.5.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yes, thank
You
God.
needed that one, Pat.
Nice.
That's weird. I would have said 2.5. I think they're like even teams.
Yeah, but they're not doing that. Like, if it's two bad teams that can't score, like both these teams, it's 1.5.
Okay, just that line in my mind indicates I think Tampa's a better team, and I don't agree
But
with
that's not what it's telling you. It's telling you that these teams struggle.
Did the
to score.
Niners end up covering against Tampa today?
that. Yeah, they did.
Yeah, Tampa tried to throw a Hail Mary.
Okay.
We ready
This
for
guy
the next
says,
one?
Price is Right, equity, lose again. Lol.
We're into the afternoon
Damn.
slate now.
Yeah, he was making fun of your pick, and you're winning.
I don't want him making fun of anybody.
I don't like that.
Ban him.
Ban him for life?
Ban him for life. Go watch Le Coupe Gray.
What'd you say?
Tell that guy to go watch the Canadian League and ban
Sit
him.
up to the mic.
You have to talk into the microphone.
Ban him.
Oh, okay, ban him for life? Yeah, fuck off. Ban for life. You can take a fuck off.
These are addictive, by the way.
Really? Did you beat the 10?
Oh, yeah.
Are those better than kale chips?
No, but my goodness. We're getting close. This is a great potluck. As your potluck season emerges, you bring a hot
Do not do that. 'Cause
container
they're not going to
of
be
freshly cooked
They're not going to be hot
popcorn
by the time
shrimp.
that you get there, by the way.
People will be
Yeah.
fired up.
If you brought your own air fryer, I think it would be acceptable.
It wouldn't
Just
be as
like,
good.
Can I plug that
if
in?
you went there and made it there,
Yeah. I think
Yes.
that would be acceptable.
You'd have to heat it up.
You can't be like, hey, can I use your oven? It's just like there's like a roast beef in the oven. Like, no, you can't. Just put your,
Right.
whatever that is.
part of the fun of the potlucks is like making something, not buying a box of frozen things and heating them up.
To me, this is going to sound main character-y, but my favorite part of the potluck is going and eating all the various different dishes that are available. I contribute
course.
because that's what one does, but
So you're a user.
no, I contribute. I would
and-
never go empty-handed.
And what's your contribution?
Mozzarella sticks.
What's the go-to?
Mozzarella sticks recently, but or a veggie tray or a fruit tray.
So other people are making casseroles or wraps or sandwiches or roast beef, as Paul said, or some sort of pot roast. And you're like, yeah, here's a $5 fruit tray that I put no time into. Let me eat your food. That's your contribution to it?
You haven't been to a grocery store recently if you think fruit trays are $5.
I mean, I would never fucking buy a fruit tray.
I'd do it sometimes. It's easier than having to cut all the fruit up.
For what? Where are you bringing fruit trays to besides potlucks?
At home. Eat at home. I bought fruit trays just for myself. Like to have at breakfast time. You don't have to go through the effort of like
You eat an
peeling and
entire
cutting.
fruit tray?
Oh,
for
no,
breakfast?
like over a couple of days worth of breakfasts.
Interesting stuff. All right.
You could be eating a lot worse, Tim. I think
Thank
eating
you.
a fruit tray is totally
it's not about
acceptable.
eating well or eating poorly. It's just buying a fruit tray for yourself to stick in your fridge.
It's an interesting move. You could probably just buy like certain fruits that you
Yeah.
enjoy the most.
Tim's
but-
addicted to cantaloupe and honeydew, I see.
I like those melons.
It's much cheaper, Tim, if you just buy the fruit and cut it up yourself.
I would
know.
never buy like a cantaloupe for myself or a melon for myself because it would just be too much.
Fair.
You know, it would go bad too fast.
Paul gets it.
Okay.
I get it. It's not the craziest thing.
You're gonna
Like he says crazy things all the time. We're
That
gonna give
one's
him,
not
We're
hitting
gonna
the
give him a
level?
pass on that.
All right.
Thank you, Paul.
Well, it's just you and Paul living similar lifestyles here. You need your single serving fruit. You need to be able to bring things to potluck so you can heat up in a microwave.
He was a big fan of the grocery stores having the single serving only section.
Yeah, you're speaking to Paul on these things.
I was actually against that.
No, I thought you were a fan.
No, I said that.
Oh, so you're pulling a cam, are you? Where you said something and just claim other. Yeah, I agree with you, Paul. You're right.
I was just like, I'll buy, like, if I wanted to buy steaks, I would buy multiple steaks and then just freeze the extra ones. Like,
I don't like to freeze.
This guy says bacon wrapped jalapeno poppers are tops for potluck. Now, one thing that we did used to make was buy actual jalapenos and then put cheese in them and then have bacon around them and make them.
Yeah, my friends usually did out west. They would like prep, like they would wear the gloves because things are so like those seeds can get in your eyes and juice or whatever. And they would empty out all the seeds and they'd put in the cream cheese and the bacon and wrap it up. And those were delicious.
I agree.
Those were top
Sounds
notch.
fantastic.
But those are something that you put effort into to bring. It's
Could you
not
make jalapeno peppers? Or you probably could in an air fryer. I'm sure.
sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you most definitely
Like
could.
they wouldn't blister too much.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, they would probably blister more in an oven,
Yeah, I guess that's true. Okay.
but that'd be better than buying frozen ones and microwaving them, or in your case, not
Yes.
heating them up at all and just eating them frozen. How many games we got left?
We're into the afternoon slate. We
right.
got the Cleveland Browns at the Denver Broncos.
And it is Meaney's go.
I like this game. All right, I need to push these.
I will say, man, how much is riding on tonight? I will say that I'm going to say the Browns are favored. I'm going to say they're favored by a point.
Nope.
It's Browns and who?
Browns at Broncos.
Browns at Broncos. Broncos by 1.5.
Ding, ding, ding. Pat's making a comeback.
1.5 is the move. There's like
He's
4
heating
of them.
up. Yeah.
So, Pat, you're up first on this one. We got the Rams at the Cardinals.
Cardinals by 2.5.
Nope.
Cardinals by 2.5.
Yeah.
No way.
Rams at Cardinals. right?
Rams have got to be favored. Rams by a 1.5.
Nope.
Rams by a point.
Nailed it.
Yeah,
Rams
it has
by
to be the Rams.
You,
They
get
just won
only,
today.
you only get 1 point for being third, but
Yeah.
you got the point.
take
there.
it.
Rams are 4-6 and won today. The Cardinals are.
I mean, I don't think you can definitively say they have to be favored and they're favored by a point.
I think they had to be the favorite to start anyway.
Do you think they'll close as the favorite?
I do actually.
I do not.
I guess we'll see.
All right.
Everyone's still butthurt from betting Arizona today against Houston.
Yeah.
Top Cat. You're up, buddy.
Should have had it.
We got KC at LV, or also known as Oakland.
Chiefs by 10.
Ding, ding, ding.
Wow.
Nicely done, Tim.
Up to 9. You got Meaney by 2 right now, and me by 4.
All right, Meaney, you're up first here.
Let's get it.
It's a personal game. It's the Bills at the Eagles.
Ooh.
Oh, baby. I will say Philly. I'm just going to say 2.5, Philly.
Nope.
It's Bills at Philly.
Bills at Philly.
Philly by 4.
Nope.
You want to go either side or in between, playing a game of posts?
Before today, it would
going
have
in
been,
between.
I would have gone over. I am going to go under. I'm going to say Philadelphia by 3.5.
Well, that's right on the nose, yes. But the way that shook out there, Tim, you really didn't have to think, because if you went on either side of both of those guys, outside of going over, no wait, yeah, if you went in between both of those guys,
Yeah.
you won. Unless you said like 4.5.
I was considering that. I think before
Okay.
before the Buffalo beatdown today, that might have been a bigger spread. But no.
A 4.5, 5?
Yeah, I think so. But anyway,
Yeah, I mean, Bills were looking absolutely dreadful
that's it, right?
until today. All right, we got the Ravens at the Chargers. Pain and sadness. Or
This
fun
is
and
a Sunday night
sadness. Fun and sadness.
Yeah,
Sorry.
fun and sadness.
Yeah, fun.
Fun and sadness.
Baltimore by 2.5.
Nope.
3.5.
Nope.
4.
Ding, ding, ding.
That's a lot of points.
There's a lot of points.
We're all
with
going to take the Chargers.
It is.
No, I'm not.
It is a lot of points.
Done with
Chargers
Chargers.
don't have a home field advantage.
I'm burying.
They
the
never
Chargers.
have a home field advantage.
They're
I'm
assholes. Like, they're
burying the
assholes,
Chargers.
they're
This is the
chokers.
Widowmaker game.
This is the Widowmaker.
Bosa may be gone.
Yeah, we don't know about
I think
Bosa.
he's done.
He looked
He
done.
looked in a lot of pain.
He
Yeah,
always
it
looks
looks done.
He limps off the field looking
Yeah.
done. Then he's like back 3 snaps later.
Like, they took him off on a cart.
Yeah, they took Aaron
He
Jones
was
off on a
carted.
cart. He'll be back next week.
Tears.
They took
Jones is
They
finished,
took
too.
someone off on a cart last Sunday, and he was back like.
Yep, they did. We commented
Yeah, we
on
were
this.
like, how is he
back? He was carted off.
It was like when DK got carted off. He's had to
He's in the
shit.
bathroom. Yes.
Yeah.
Monday Night Football.
Monday Night Football. We got the Bears at the Vikings.
Dobbs in prime time. Can't get enough.
Like the Bears here. That's for sure. Is it me?
Yeah.
Is it over?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, not technically. Meaney, with a correct guess, will tie you.
Okay. I should just throw it and give a ridiculously high number. But I will say it is the Vikings by 5.
Nope.
Meaney.
I will say, I don't know. Chicago hung around today. I'll say 4.5.
Nope.
3.5.
Ding, ding, ding.
Nice.
I like the Bears.
You like everyone who's not
You-
Minnesota every week, by the way. Ever since you
Is it a
proclaimed they had
Dobbs thing or is it a Vikings thing?
When,
No,
they,
I'm
when
happy
they
to see
trade-
Dobbs do
when
well.
he traded for
He
Dobbs,
hates Dobbs so
he
much.
came in and shit on how shitty Josh Dobbs is, and then proclaimed they had a 0% chance of making the playoffs.
I got nothing against. I think it's a great story that he's doing well.
But then he wouldn't take my bet when I was just like, all right, you guys said that they have no chance. I was like, give me some odds on it. And he's like, you can go to the sports book. I'm like, I'm considering that, but I want your odds since they have 0 chance. He wouldn't do it.
JJ should be back next week too.
I thought he was going to be back this week. I know that he's not, but just that timeline didn't work out. Madison's playing, though,
he is.
Yeah.
which I was very surprised about. All right,
He
Meaney.
stinks.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys stink, but I mean, people want to get very hyped for Ty Chandler. He's a guy who got replaced twice already this year
sucks,
as
too.
the backup.
Yeah. Dobbs will lead the team in rushing yards tonight. Again.
Mean Streets on Daily. Where can people find it?
On the YouTube page, FTN Network YouTube page. Yeah, we're pretty much going only 3 or 4 times a week now with Dango Batselli with Eric. So we do a couple hockey shows a week, and then we'll do football on Monday, and we'll do it on Wednesday this week with the 3 Thanksgiving games, and then we'll be back on Friday. Tee up a busy weekend in the NFL, and I'll be in studio with you this week. So that's exciting.
Yeah, because shout out to Tambo. He put it. I mean, it wasn't a great effort at King of the Beach. Sam Howell went down with the ship. He had one of his players ejected from that game. Went with the Washington stack with Howell, Logan Thomas, and Curtis Samuel, and to try to cheap out that way and spend up. And those guys could not come through. So he's only going to be giving away $600, not $30,000, which is very unfortunate for everyone, himself included, because he did win $300,000. But like he said, no one cares. Work harder. So maybe he'll try to get himself into the fantasy football world championships. They're back at King of the Beach again, but amazing generosity from Tambo to say that he was going to do that. And the giveaways are still coming. They're just going to be for a lot less than was potentially available for it. So wish him. Say, hey, thanks, Tambo. Just, he's probably feeling shitty for not having a good run at it. So that sucks. But he will not be in studio, and Meaney will be in studio replacing Tambo this week as he kind of decompresses from getting back from Miami and doing family stuff and everything like that. So shout out to our guy Tambo over at shipitnation.com. Thanks to Cust for being in studio. Thanks to you good people for tuning in. And since you're here, you should smash the like and sub to the channel and go to omahasteaks.com, get 50% off any order, then put in code Mayo, get another $30 off. It is the best way to get someone a gift that, you care about them, but you don't want to actually go shopping for them. It gets sent right to them as well. It makes it super easy for Christmas, all right? I'm Pat Mayo. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.